Evening, friends. Ash here, WAT News with some election updates. It's December the 8th, 2020. I wanted to cover this first. Breaking exclusive Dominion took over Georgia voting machines remotely. Not only were demoting voting machines connected to the internet in the 2020 election in Georgia, Dominion actually took over voting machines remotely. Crazy. There were comments originally that Dominion was not connected to the internet. An individual representing Dominion before the election claimed that Dominion voting machines were not connected to the internet. Fox News interviewed Dominion spokesperson Michael Steele on November the 22nd. When asked if a poll worker could use a USB thumb drive to add votes for a candidate, Steele said that the vote tabulators do not have such access. He also said they are not connected to the internet. It's not physically possible to do what they're describing, he reiterated. He also disputed a claim that an algorithm weighted votes for Biden greater than votes for Trump, noting again that the paper ballot records would reveal that. We uncovered shortly after Steele spoke that he was a Jeb Bush lackey. Steele lied about Dominion voting machines not having internet access. A week or so later, Rudy Giuliani asked an expert about this claim. On Dominion pointed to as being secure because it doesn't connect to internet. Witness Colonel Phil Waldron. These machines have many access points to internet. These machines are connected to internet. Dominion user manual instructs how. Server traffic showed connections. Chanel Rion, OAN. Not only was Dominion accessible on the internet, it was accessible by far-left indivisible organizers on election night, an Obama-linked group that endorsed Joe Biden. Breaking Dominion software was accessible to far-left indivisible organizers on election night, an Obama-linked group that endorsed Joe Biden. This leads us to today. We've uncovered that Dominion, which has internet access, took over Georgia voting machines remotely. In the interview with the Georgia Senate, a Dominion-related individual stated that Dominion accessed Georgia voting machines remotely. Dominion took over remotely. Flight like a Flynn 777 KAB. The individual actually said they remoted into ballot marking devices. No, you didn't listen to her whole statement. She also stated that they remoted into the ballot marking devices to fix them as well. So Dominion voting machines can be accessed by far-left Obama-related groups, individuals related to Dominion-accessed ballot marking devices remotely in Georgia and likely other states during the 2020 election. This doesn't sound secure. So let's listen to the woman's testimony, okay? I have it queued up here.
What I thought I heard you say is that you were able to contact Dominion, they were able to fix the problem. That indicates to me that somehow they're able to communicate with the device that you have.
Yes, sir, they were. And to give you an example, I am not a tech person, but the best way I can explain it to you is when something happens with my phone that I have an iPhone, or something happens with my Apple computer where I need additional assistance with that. I call up Apple and I say, this is what's happening, and they say, well, do I have permission to take over your computer? And of course I give them the permission to do that because I want it fixed. That was the exact same thing. I had to give them permission to take over my poll pad so that they could reprogram it from Adams Park to SSO2 A and B, which is at West Balding Drive Elementary.
What I thought I heard you...
So there it is. She just said they remoted into her machine. So if they remote into your machine, you got to be connected to the internet. So there it is right there. I was going to cover this Mark Levin stuff, but he's talking about the Article 77 in Pennsylvania, and we covered that several days ago. So I'm a little ahead of the curve on that. Of course, Mark does a great speech on it, and you can go to townhall.com, check him out if you want. But I wanted to get to more pressing things. I thought this was interesting. FDA confirms Pfizer vaccine 95% effective, warns of severe adverse reactions after dose 2. So it's not looking good for the Pfizer or the Moderna, to be honest. Word I'm hearing in New York, 50% of firefighters won't take it. Excuse me. And many other workers don't want to take it, and people don't want to take it. So I don't think that's going to work. And if we stand up together as one voice and say we do not consent and we don't want COVID passports and we don't want this crap, then we won't have to deal with it much longer, is my guess. It's falling apart. I wanted to cover this article in New York Post because it felt like it was a soft sort of article saying that they're not going to tell you about aliens as they tell you about aliens. So I wanted to cover this because it's one of those wacky articles that I think is like a soft disclosure. So let's check that out real quick. Aliens in hiding until mankind is ready, says ex-Israeli space head, by Aaron Face, New York Post. The truth may be out there, but nowhere near as out there as this tale. Space aliens have reached an agreement with the U.S. government to stay mum on the experiments they conduct on Earth, as well as their secret base on Mars, until mankind is ready to accept them, the former head of Israel's space program claimed in a new interview. So you just told us that they're doing experiments on our planet, though, right? And that there's a secret base on Mars. Okay. The aliens have asked not to announce that they are here because humanity is not ready yet, quote unquote. Hayam Eshed told Israeli paper Yedioth Aharonoth, that's a name, according to the Jewish press. The Jewish press speculating that Eshed, 87, may have gone to insanity and beyond, goes on to unspool his tangled web, which claims the involvement of President Trump in interplanetary diplomacy. Quote, Trump was on the verge of revealing aliens' existence, but the aliens in the Galactic Federation are saying, wait, let people calm down first. Eshed, who helmed Israel's space security program from 1981 to 2010, reportedly said, quote, they don't want to start mass hysteria. They want to first make us sane and understanding, unquote. Until that day, aliens have secured an agreement to keep their moves under wraps, said Eshed, noting that the extraterrestrials come in peace. Quote, they have been waiting for humanity to evolve and reach a stage where we will generally understand what space and spaceships are, unquote, said Eshed, according to the Jewish press. I think we know what they are, and I think we know a lot more than what he's letting on. At least some of us do. There's been talk of the secret space program now for many years. I posted a FESIG meeting where they do a 4-hour dig on my YouTube page about the whole secret space program, about the different, groups and stuff that they think are involved and stuff like that. So that's a totally fascinating read. This is kind of just ridiculous at this point. I thought Obama was actually supposed to be the one that was supposed to do it, but we'll see. We still don't know yet, guys. I think it's coming. There's an agreement between the United States government and the aliens. They signed a contract with us to do experiments here. They too are researching and trying to understand the whole fabric of the universe, and they want us as helpers, quote unquote. And this is the part where I think is a lie. I think they're actually experimenting on us. They don't want us as helpers. I mean, if you have tech that's like 500 or thousands of years ahead of our tech, then what could we possibly do to help you, right? I think you'd be a little bit more advanced than us and know a few more things about the universe than we even know. So one of the hubs of the cooperation is a base on Mars where, by the way, Eshed claims American astronauts have already set foot. There's an underground base in the depths of Mars where their representatives are and also our American astronauts, Eshed reportedly said. What I heard about the Mars base is where they did the most horrible stuff. That's what the guys in the space program were talking about it, and they said that's where the Archon base was, and that they were taking humans there for bad stuff. I mean, I don't know any if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. Eshed acknowledged that it all sounds like science fiction, but claimed that some of his peers are coming around. If I had to come up with what I'm saying today 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized. Wherever I've gone with this in academia, they've said, the man has lost his mind, he reportedly said. Today they've already talked differently. I have nothing to lose. I've received my degrees and awards. I am respected in universities abroad, where the trend is also changing. Former president, I don't even want to say his name, recently refused in an interview with late show funny man Colbert to confirm or deny the existence of extraterrestrial life. So, I think that's a soft disclosure of a soft disclosure. That's what I think. And we'll see how it all plays out with that. The fact that they're talking about the Mars base, though, I wonder what else is going to come out, because I've heard that the secret space program for years was forcing people to go into these programs and to, do a 20 and back program where your memory's wiped, and there's a lot of people starting to come out and give, testimony to that. So that's something else that we have to look into and keep our eyes on. WHO envoy, life won't return to normal for at least 2 years, according to these people. So, again, the only way to get back to normal is if you take the poison vaccine that they want to give you, right? And I think more and more people are standing up and saying they're not going to do that. And I'm one of those people as well. So, Trump campaign files lawsuit seeking new presidential election in Georgia. Suit alleges mass illegal voting, failure to match signatures. And that's the thing. If you're not matching any of the signatures at all, I mean, how can you can't verify the people's vote? How can you do it? And if you're setting the voting signature verification to low, as some states have now been alleged to have done, that's also a problem, right? Because it could let through ballots that aren't actually the person whose name is on it. The Trump campaign has filed a lawsuit in the Georgia court seeking to halt the certification of presidential election results in that state pending the holding of a new presidential election there. The lawsuit, filed Friday in the Superior Court of Fulton County, alleges that tens of thousands of illegal votes were counted in the election results, resulting in substantial doubt as to the outcome of the contested election. Any certification associated therewith should be enjoined, vacated, and nullified, the suit demands, and either a new presidential election be immediately ordered that complies with Georgia law or such other just and equitable relief is obtained so as to comport with the Constitution of the state of Georgia. Suit further argues that it is in the public interest to grant the request for emergency injunctive relief so that Georgia voters can have confidence that the January 5th, 2021 Senate election is conducted in accordance with the election code. And I wanted to finish with this article because I think this is the big bombshell that's about to break open, and it already has. There's been some good articles reported on it. I just can't put the whole thing together yet, but Dominion Voting Systems owner sells $400 million in securities to China-linked UBS, October 8th, 2020. This is out of Zero Hedge by Global Intel Hub. Recently, we noted that private equity firm Staple Street Capital started to go dark, meaning delete their LinkedIn profiles and change their website, deleting the photos. The story is further unraveled with this bombshell SEC Form D filing, which I'll click on real quick. Oh, I should have opened it in a new window. Sorry, guys, hang on. Alright, there's the filing. I'll open it up in a new window so we don't have to lose our page here. Where was it? Right, with this bombshell filing. Hang on, let me just open that in a new tab so I have it. The story is further unraveled with this bombshell SEC Form D filing, showing that their Staple Street Capital 3 LP fund sold $400 million worth of securities to global investment bank UBS Securities on October the 8th, 2020. Note that this is a notice of sale of securities. It does not mean that a transaction took place. But under the circumstances, you wouldn't file a Form D unless you were absolutely had to transaction is imminent. We've downloaded a PDF copy should this vanish from the SEC site on the Global Intel Hub library. Another piece of critical info: we don't have what is included in the Staple Street Capital 3 LP. What we do know is the rough size of the 2018 transaction, about $265 million, according to a PitchBook story. Staple Street Capital has purchased Dominion Voting Systems alongside company management. Dominion is a provider of election tabulation services for state and local governments in the U.S. and Canada. Funds for the investment came via Staple Street's second flagship vehicle, which closed on $265 million in 2015. So Staple Street has multiple vehicles that they're doing this on, and it's going to be like one of these things you're going to have a financial audit to figure out where everything is, right? To turn around an investment in 5 years for a 51% profit doesn't seem all that great, but bear in mind a few things. First, that's an annualized 10% return. Second, aside from the percent return, it's a profit of $135 million US, which is a good profit. Third, if you were the owner of an asset that you knew was going to be used to commit voting election fraud, you would sell it too. And UBS is the perfect proxy for China through UBS Securities Company Limited. On October the 8th, 2020, Staple Street Capital filed SEC Form D offerings and sales amount of $400 million, with the sales compensation recipient identified as UBS Securities. States the investigation, which also notes that another payment of $200 million was received in December 2014. Quote, UBS Securities is a Swiss investment bank which owns 24.99% of UBS Securities Company Limited, a Chinese investment bank. The remaining 75% of UBS Securities Company Limited is owned by the Chinese government, states the report. The overall owners of UBS Securities Company Limited are Beijing Guojiang, 33%, UBS 24.99%, Guangdong Group, ZH, China Guodian 14%, and Kofco Group 14%. This comes as Steve Pieczenik doubles down on his Trump ballot marking theory, and that's been erased. Anyway, I covered the corn ink and the ballots and the ballot markings a lot too. So another interesting observation of Dr. Pieczenik is that the Simon & Schuster merger is about a Trump second term more than anything else. They are a powerful anti-Trump media organization that has no place in a nationalist populist state, as would be under Trump too. In any event, the sale of securities of a private equity firm to a China-linked global investment bank just 30 days before the most controversial election in U.S. history deserves a deeper dive. But it's not going to come from the DOJ, even though the FBI lists on its website under the heading, What We Investigate, public corruption, cybercrimes, and organized crime. So I thought that was a great article, guys. We're going to have to dig into this more because it seems like there's a network here that purchased this and then they moved the stuff around. And I also reported that HSBC Canada had the patents. So why was the patents given to HSBC Canada, but then this other transaction went through between a China-linked UBS, and all this stuff, right? Why did this other transaction also go through on the side, and then you have the additional $200 million? So we're going to have to dig into this a little deeper and figure it out. It's a little bit over my pay grade, but here's the United States Securities and Exchange Commission Form D, Notice of Exempt Offering of Securities, Staple Street Capital 3 LP, Jurisdiction of Incorporation, Delaware. So this is where a lot of companies hide money. There's a lot of shell corporations out of Delaware. There's a lot of money hidden in Delaware. So that's interesting. Within last 5 years, principal place of business, name of issuer, Staple Street Capital, 1290 Avenue of the Americas, 10th floor. Okay. Last name Owens, Stephen. Related person, Stephen D. Owens. Promoter. Okay. Hutan Yaguzbada. I've seen this name again before also. He is a promoter also. I got to dig into that guy a little bit more. Industry group, pooled investment fund, private equity fund. Is the issuer registered as an investment company under the Investment Company Act of 1940? No. Okay. Issuer size declined to disclose. Okay, interesting. So no revenue ranges, we don't know. Federal exemptions and exclusions claimed. Rule 506B, Investment Company Act, Section 3C and Section 3C1. Type of filing, new notice, and it looks like date of first sale yet to occur. Duration of offering, does the issuer intend this offering to last more than 1 year? No. Types of securities offered, equity. Business combination transaction, is this offering being made in connection with a business combination transaction such as a merger, acquisition, or exchange offer? No. Minimum investment accepted from any outside investor? Zero. Sales compensation, UBS Securities, associated broker or dealer? None. States of solicitation, total offering amount $400 million US dollars. Total remaining to be sold, $400 million US dollars. Provide separate the amounts of sales commissions. All right, so there's a lot of info here. You can go in through it. Maybe we need some accountants to check into this stuff. And Staple Street acquires Dominion Voting. July 18th, 2018, by PitchBook. Staple Street Capital has purchased Dominion Voting Systems alongside company management. Dominion is a provider of election tabulation services. We covered that. I guess this is just another confirmation. Okay, I'll put it in the links, guys. I just want to include that Dominion link with the UBS and all that. It's starting to get a little interesting, right? Now we got HSBC Canada. We also have UBS and this other separate company, Staple Street Capital. And, you know, these all these things seem to be coming into connection now, right? Was this company sold previously to a fund or something connected with China? That's what it's going to come down to, it looks like here, and it's starting to appear that that may be the case, right? We'll have to see how it all plays out, guys. So with that, this is Ash, WAT News, signing off for now.